Hello, welcome to The Vibrant Couple. My name is Valdo Lallemand. I'm a relationship coach. I created The Vibrant Couple to further my purpose of liberating love through connection and playfulness. This is our emotional intelligence series, and today is our 14th episode on projections. I'm going to talk about what projections are, why people project. I'm going to give you a few examples. We're going to dive deeper into projections in a couple. And very interestingly, we're going to talk about why projections can actually help us liberate more love in a conscious couple. Projection is very simply a defense mechanism in which a person projects their own thoughts, emotions, or traits onto another person or another group. But why do people project? Well, it's a very complex question. Sometimes it is because people are immature. They are unable to deal with whatever they are feeling. So somehow it's easier to project it onto others. Sometimes it comes from trauma. Our brain and our nervous system is incredible in the sense that it can adapt through overload after overload after overload, somehow creating parallel connections so that we keep functioning even though some part of our brains and memory have been shut down because they are too painful. One could say that this is out of emotional distress. And one could also say that maybe it is because the part that has been somehow repressed, shut down, disowned, is ready to be explored. Before we go there, let's take a look at a few examples. A classic example comes from Sigmund Freud, where a woman who's been unfaithful to her husband accuses him, projects on him that he's cheating on her. You can totally see that there is likely some projection of Mr. Freud on women. I love that example because it highlights three types of projections. One is the individual projection from the wife to her husband. The second is the projection of Mr. Freud on women. And the third one is a cultural projection for which, for many, many centuries, patriarchy made people project onto women. A second example is out of a bully who basically projects onto others their feeling of vulnerability by bullying others because it is too painful for them to admit their insecurities, their vulnerability, or whatever else could be going on. I would love to dig in a little bit deeper than these examples I just gave you. So first, projection is fully human. It can be a way of assigning blame, but it can also be simply an externalization of one's inner subconscious dialogue. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I like lines of development as a way of better understanding complex processes. So the first line is on the toxicity of the projection. On this line, a person may be dismissive somewhere in the middle, and as we move to the right, would become critical, then judgmental, and then closer to the right would be attacking others. I'm pretty sure all of you have experienced toxic projection. That toxic projection, of course, can be the result of a person with highly narcissistic tendencies. Projection is one of their tools with gaslighting and a bunch of different other things. But it could be simply the result of a toxic culture in a couple in which both attack each other as a way of not looking at their own vulnerability, as a way of not having to answer any questions that would make them uncomfortable in their couple. Here, I do not intend to be exhaustive on all things about toxic projection, my intention is to just bring to you that continuum between 0% and 100% toxicity so you can better assess what is going on with your couple. The second line I invite you to look at is the unconscious versus conscious. So the two lines are different. For example, the bully is likely unconscious of his or her insecurities. In the example of the unfaithful wife, she may be unconscious of her projection of her fears, or she may be very intentional about those projections as a way for her husband to not ask questions. These first two lines may seem correlated to you and your experience in your couple. However, I invite you to look at them independently. The line that I feel is the most important is the third one. And basically, I call that the awareness of the process. On the left side, people could be totally unaware that they are making projections. It may be because they have a victim mentality. However, those unchecked assumptions, unchecked interpretations can be very damaging to a couple. On the other end, and that's where I want to focus most of the remaining of our time, is a person, and hopefully both in the couple are aware of the process. They are aware that they are projecting on each other. That is what I call a conscious couple. Both bring self-awareness, curiosity, inquiry to their projection and their fights, because they know that those projections are not them. Well, sometimes they are, and that's a different conversation. But when they are not, they know that this may be an opportunity for them to support their partner in accessing something that has been repressed, a part of them that has been disowned for likely many years. In my view, this is the beauty of being a couple. We have two somehow incompatible people that somehow can be explosive with each other and that choose to basically create gold out of their relationship. This is not easy. Actually, this is very difficult work, but I believe this can be very rewarding. If this video inspired you to increase your emotional intelligence, both personally and as a couple, I invite you to hit the like button below and subscribe so you can be notified when I publish new juicy content. And please pass along to all you believe would benefit. I look forward to seeing you very soon.